Okay, hello everyone. We are back playing the second part of what seems to be a three-part playthrough of Stray Gods with my guest Joe, who has not played the game before, so she doesn't know what she got herself into.
It's fun, okay? I'm excited. I'm very still excited.
Good. That's actually good. Okay, so let's I guess continue in that case.
Calliope came to me years ago. She'd grown tired of arguing with the idols, tired of being branded a troublemaker. She couldn't watch the idols wither away without a fight. I knew how she felt, so I gave her the apartment.
How well did you know her?
So you must know better than anyone what she's been up to.
Not exactly. Calliope and I haven't spoken for at least 2 years. After I heard the news, I went to the apartment and turned it upside down. I had to know the truth.
That was you?
I didn't find anything. Nothing to say what she had been involved with, or gotten into, or who she might have been fighting with.
That tells us a bit.
That means one of two things. Either whatever happened to her was sudden, or it was secret.
I suppose you're right.
Calliope was never one to keep secrets. When she was doing something, everyone knew about it.
None of you were talking to her. Who would she tell?
You're clever. Maybe there's a chance Calliope chose you after all.
If it
I
wasn't
am
Grace,
clever.
that means
That's why I
someone
chose
else
that
could
trait.
know about his death. Someone who could keep their involvement hidden.
One of us.
Must it be an idol?
Does it have to be an idol? You thought I killed Calliope. Couldn't it have been some other mortal?
Despite how he might look, it's not a simple matter to kill an idol.
It was difficult enough to believe you had done it. If another mortal killed her, they somehow escaped detection. We found nothing, no evidence of a battle.
You looked?
Of course we looked. What do you think was happening while you waited? If Calliope was attacked elsewhere, even magic revealed no trace of it.
Wait, did you just say magic?
Wait. Did you say magic?
You can battle me through a song in a world of your own creation, and yet magic is beyond belief?
Well, sure. I just thought...
We have our powers just as you have yours.
I can grow a field of corn like nobody's business.
Someone said they're also magic, but true magic is a different and older power. Hecate's domain.
And it was of no use here.
We shouldn't rule it out. We haven't tried everything yet.
Shouldn't we? No. Did Calliope have enemies?
Did Calliope have any enemies? The way you talk about her, she must have. What? What am I missing?
Calliope had a way of making people angry. She could be argumentative.
Yes, but enough to make enemies who wanted her dead?
Not that you or I know of, apparently, but that doesn't mean they didn't exist.
What about Pan?
What about Pan? He showed up at my place out of nowhere, right after I left the chorus.
He did what?
And I can remember what his angle
Her
is.
face.
He has one, that's for certain. Though I've never thought of him as a killer. It would be too messy.
Still, we should consider the idea. For him to show up so quickly is odd.
You'll both still be suspects.
For all I know, either one of you could have done it, and you're just playing along.
Apollo is capable of many things, but lying? He was never any good at it.
Whereas we know how capable you are of murder.
Okay, this is...
Only God I killed deserved it.
Right. Sorry I brought it up.
Could Athena be the killer?
What about Athena? She seemed awfully insistent on declaring me guilty, don't you think?
Athena? No, Athena follows the rules.
Well,
Athena has one goal and one goal only, to protect the idols. And that included Calliope. She'll eventually drive us all mad with her vigilance, but break her own rules? I don't see it.
Couldn't we go to Athena with this? If you've changed your minds and you're both part of the chorus.
Athena would be sympathetic, but the die has been cast.
She won't go back on the edict, not without clear evidence.
Oh, now you want evidence?
She acted on the information she had. If we want to sway her, we need something better.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know the idols. Don't you have any ideas?
I told you I wouldn't be of much help, Grace.
Did you now? That's unsurprising. When do you ever have help to anyone but yourself?
Says the woman who forced Grace to challenge her rather than answer a simple question.
Calliope died, Apollo. Calliope, who came with us all the way from the old world.
You think I don't know that? Are you forgetting what the Muses meant to me?
Stop fighting.
Stop it! Stop fighting! Is this what the idols are like? You just what? Live forever and never get over anything? Super. Becoming a god was such a gift. Wow.
Calliope, I'm listening now. Tell us what and you would do to.
Calliope, blinded by fire, one match did you strike that consumed you.
How could you blame her? What could she have done to earn such a fate? You are blinded.
God of the sun hides from his own eyes. What would you know about fate?
You say that you knew her, she was family to us, yet you don't hesitate to accuse her. Oh, queen without a throne, go bitter with fury. Not everyone seeks to betray you.
We've overlooked something.
Something missing we're blinded to.
Yes, there's more to seek.
Apollo, your help is not needed here. Go ahead and abandon another muse.
How could you throw that gauntlet at me? Could your heart shrivel any further?
You abandoned me to a terrible fate.
You replay your injuries
It's
till
far
it's
too
too
late.
late.
You know how far I bent before I
trapped.
snapped.
This
This
is
is
not
not
about
about
you.
you.
Enough! This helps no one.
Apollo, calm down.
Son.
Apollo, for my sake, take a deep breath. I need your help, not your anger. These old wounds, they distract and blind you. You can't see yourselves.
He doesn't know what's important.
And you do?
And this is an important choice
Or stay.
because that determines who will be helping you from now on, from those two.
Shit.
And if you choose one, you will not get much help from the other.
I'll go to Apollo.
That was not my finest moment. Persephone will never let this go.
What was all that about?
What the hell was that? You were one step away from full thunder and lightning.
Old habits die hard, especially around my family. That's why I've tried to avoid my fellow idols for so long. I don't like who I am when I'm with them.
No wisdom with age. Oh my god, yes.
You'd think being thousands of years old would make idols more mature. And yet...
Oh, I've forgotten 10 lifetimes by now. Perhaps my maturity was in one of those. At least coming here was useful. You have a better idea of where to start looking, right?
And where is that?
And where is that?
I need to give it some thought. This won't be easy. If another idol is behind this, they know as well. They had a plan.
So you don't know where to look next?
I need time to sort it out. Just be patient, Grace.
Is Athena not really an option?
I have to ask, is Athena really not an option? She wouldn't see what you see? At all?
I respect Athena. She has dragged us into the modern age, sometimes kicking and screaming. She's why we're alive. But if I said that her need to keep us safe didn't drive to extremes, I'd be lying. You represent a risk, Grace. To her, that is more important than any notion of compassion or justice.
Maybe our corporate knows that.
Maybe whoever's behind this knows that, and is counting on it.
How? No one could have known you would become the muse.
Maybe they just don't want to muse around. Though why is a good question.
Good thinking. Though I'm not sure who would benefit. Something to keep in mind.
You're still helping me.
I thought you'd decide that getting me into the underworld was enough.
What? Bring you to Persephone and then shrug? Not my problem now?
I wouldn't blame you.
I mean, you could. I wouldn't blame you. It's not your problem.
What you said during our song, it's still true.
Sure, but I forced you to sing it.
You forced me to speak my heart. I'm helping you because I believe I should.
Is there anything I can do in the meantime? Someplace I can look?
Don't you want to relax? You haven't rested since this began.
Relax? Who can relax? I've been sentenced to death, Apollo.
Fair point. Even so, go home, Grace. The next time you see me, I'll have a better notion of what to do.
Fine. But I'm holding you to that.
Yeah, don't I get a whole week?
Only a week.
Yeah, but I do need to sleep.
Congrats, you're in Act 2 now.
Yay!
Hey, Freddy.
Hey.
Is everything okay?
Not really. I felt like crap after you left. I don't know why I acted like that. I just had this image of you being swept off into some new world without me.
And now I will choose because we are trying to flirt.
I will never leave you behind. Oh my god, babes.
I'm still ready and willing to be your high priestess, if that's what it takes.
If you could just help me get through this next week, that'd be plenty.
Deal. Why don't you start by telling me what happened tonight? Huh. Persephone runs a club called the Underworld. That's a little on the nose.
I wouldn't suggest saying that to her face.
And you're siding with Apollo? Lord of the Sun, god of prophecy? Do you trust him?
I think so.
I'm not sure. I think so. It doesn't seem like he's lying, but he's hard to read.
Famous last words.
Tell me about it.
So, what are your options? You need to go back to Apollo's place, right?
I could go back to the underworld. Make sure Persephone isn't taking my decision personally.
Oh, and, there's this. Pan left a card, says, "Come by Olympus." I doubt he means the mountain in Greece.
What could he want?
Huh. I wonder what he wants.
Probably to cash in his precious favor.
Still not a fan?
You know how some people just set your teeth on edge? That's Pan. I can't help it. But it doesn't matter. I said I'd help, and that's what I'll do. You can count on me, Grace.
Thanks, Freddie.
The muse? Oh, the embodiment of inspiration. Can you believe it?
Yeah, kinda.
So where to first? And we are on day 2 already, and remember, you only have 7.
Let's go talk to Pan.
Okay.
I'd say hello, Grace, but I'm afraid that look on your face might be catching.
What is this place?
It's a garden, darling. Surely even mortals have them.
This building. All those people I pass getting up here. Are they all idols?
Oh, at least some of them. Welcome to Olympus, dear Grace. Our home hidden away in plain sight. Marvelous, isn't it?
How many idols are there?
How many idols are there? I've met, what, less than 12?
Oh, I don't know, 20, 30. Our numbers have dwindled so much I've stopped keeping track.
I didn't know there were that many gods.
We're not all equally legendary, it's true. Some idols were barely worshipped, others not at all. Indeed, not all of us are idols. Some are merely immortal. Hangers-on, if you will. You'll meet them all, given time.
Is Olympus hidden?
I've passed this part of the city 100 times. I've never seen this building. Was it always here, or...?
Our Lady Hecate provides glamours that allow certain things to go unseen, such as my glorious horns. Olympus is the same. Those invited see it. Those who aren't see exactly what they expect. It's not anywhere as grand as in the old country, but it serves its purpose.
This isn't grand?
I don't know, Pan. Olympus seems pretty grand to me.
As if mortals would know any better.
Okay.
This isn't the first time you've been here. I'm sure Hermes took you to Athena's dreary office.
That's here? Huh.
Good one, that Hermes. Almost as dull-witted as the original, but biddable.
Technically, I've seen this tree before, too, because this is the tree that he was hanging out around when we were singing together. Do most idols come to live here?
Idols live here? I mean, Calliope didn't, obviously. Apollo doesn't either.
One must have special dispensation from Our Lady of Wisdom, Athena, before they can take up a private dung heap like Apollo's.
Am I gonna have to give him my apartment?
That's rather putting the cart before the horse, darling. First, you must outlive the week.
Right. Good point. You asked me to meet you here?
I did. As I recall, you owe me a favor that I now wish to collect, if you'd be so kind.
I was expecting this.
Oh, sure. I'm totally in a position to help others right now. Lay it on me.
Here's the thing. A friend has begged for my help, and you're far better suited than I to offer what he requires. I'll give you a key to reach the reliquary where he resides. You help him, and then we're even. If that's not enough incentive, the reliquary is also where you'll find the lovely Hecate. A sorceress of her power could aid your quest. What do you say?
Who am I looking for? Freaking, what's that guy's name from Anastasia? Rasputin? What is a reliquary? I know what it is, but I'm curious what he'll say.
What is this reliquary? Doesn't that have something to do with the bones of saints or something?
Not those relics. Our relics. The relics of ancient gods. Magical treasures collected over thousands of years. Books, mainly. We store them in a faraway place so no one unsavory can get their hands on them.
Unsavory like you?
Unsavory. Athena has decreed that these relics are not to be used by any save Hecate and herself. A rather dull waste of so much amassed knowledge and power, but who am I to judge? I'm not leader of the chorus.
What kind of favor is this?
This person I'm to help. What does he want? And why can't you do it?
Well, Grace, there are some things you're better equipped to handle than I. This, as I understand it, is a delicate matter of the heart. One that requires a muse's hand.
A matter of the heart.
What, did you think I was sending you to rough someone up? Set something aflame? Don't be absurd. The man has an issue with his love life. Even if you can't help him, I'll treat the effort as worth the favor.
Would Hecate really help me?
This Hecate. Do you think she could help me?
If she's of a mind. She is the goddess of dark magic, the creator of all our marvelous glamours. If anyone can help you, it is she.
And if she's not of a mind?
Then she won't help you. Grace, that part is up to you. I can't be expected to do everything, can I?
I'll consider it.
I'll think about it. But no promises.
Marvelous. The gentleman you seek is named Asterion. Lovely fellow, quite harmless. I'll send a package to your domicile that contains directions and the key you'll need to reach the reliquary.
I said no promises.
Well, if you decide to go, Grace, you'll still need all those things. Say hello to darling Hecate on my behalf, will you?
Yes,
Is that-
Asterion not to be confused with Astarion if somebody's playing Baldur's Gate.
Okay, I want to go talk to Persephone.
That's not gonna be a long conversation, I can already tell you that.
As I recall, Grace, when I said stay or leave, you chose to leave. If it wasn't clear, I don't give second chances. Or did you have some other reason for darkening my doorstep?
I wanted to see you.
I wanted to see you again. Make sure there were no hard feelings.
Oh, so it's a social visit then. Oh, let me be clear. There are no hard feelings. There are no feelings at all. You came, you got what you wanted, you left. Wherever you need to go next, I'm sure Apollo can take you.
You need me.
You haven't considered that maybe you need me for your plans?
What would you know of my plans?
Just that you have them. And if you need anything, it's allies. Allies like me.
Ever persistent. You remind me of her a little.
Of who? Calliope?
It's an interesting offer, Grace. I'll consider it, truly.
What was that about? A long conversation?
As I said, it wasn't a long one. It was only talkative after you leave with Apollo.
I'll talk to Apollo.
Ah, Grace, you're back. That's good. I was just about to call you.
He means he wants me to call you because Paul here still hasn't figured out how to use a phone.
That's not true. I know how. I just don't like them. They're confusing. Anyhow, I've been contemplating our list of suspects, and I think Pan is someone we need to consider.
Hold on. What is this about phones?
Wait. You don't like phones?
I just don't like talking to people I can't see.
No, it's the ringtones. They scare the crap out of me.
I'm not frightened. Only a child would be frightened. They're just very loud.
Just very loud. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can we return to the subject of Pan, please?
Please. I thought you discounted him.
Why Pan? I thought you'd rejected him as a suspect.
Persephone did, but I've had time to think it over. Pan is a schemer, a traitor in favors. He always has been. His sudden appearance in all this cannot be coincidental.
You think he could have killed Calliope after all?
Perhaps. Or he knows who did and is trying to turn it to his benefit. He always knows more than he pretends.
I actually went to see Pan at Olympus. I guess that wasn't such a great idea?
Spoke to him again. Already.
For the third time. He was at the underworld, too. He wants me to repay a favor by helping someone at a place called the Reliquary.
The Reliquary? And why would Pan send you there of all places? I don't like the sound of that.
Should I not go?
Uh-oh. Is it dangerous? Should I not go?
No. Perhaps it's best that you do, even if it's just to find out what he wants and why. Aphrodite is holding a party of sorts, one you should attend. She is closest to Pan. Indeed, she knows almost all the idols. If anyone is up to something, she's bound to know.
Why can't you talk to her?
You know Aphrodite better than I do. Can't you talk to her?
Well, talking to Aphrodite isn't something anyone does with much success these days.
Well, if that's the case, what makes you think I'll get anywhere?
There's a standing invitation for the Muse to attend this party. Calliope never went, so Aphrodite will be thrilled to see you. Trust me. If I thought you couldn't get her to talk, I wouldn't suggest it.
What kind of party is this?
What do you mean by a party of sorts? I mean, I'm always down for a party, but...
It's more of a remembrance than a party, really. It's difficult to describe.
That's awfully vague, Apollo.
It'll be easier to see for yourself. It's nothing you can't handle.
Okay, I'll go. Eventually.
Perfect. I will see you there.
Paul, you should see this. The names you wanted me to look up are getting weird results.
I don't doubt it. I was hoping you could...
Get over here!
No worries, Paul. I'll see you later.
Don't worry, Paul.
That is always gonna be here, but he won't tell you much right now. So, reliquary or the party?
I'll go to the party.
Okay.
Fancy party? Check. Bunch of strangers? Check. Grace totally not dressed for the occasion? Check. Now, if only I knew what I was supposed to be doing here.
Grace, you made it. I'm so glad. I was beginning to wonder.
You didn't say this was a fancy party. I feel a little underdressed.
Grace, look at me. I didn't even button up my shirt. It's fine.
Fair point.
Why is everyone so quiet? You'd think someone died.
I should have told you about this earlier. I've been putting it off.
That doesn't sound good.
I don't like the sound of that. What am I missing?
You don't have any of Calliope's memories, right? No deja vu recollections that aren't your own?
No. Should I have?
Not right away. For a while, you won't remember anything. We call it the veil. In time, the veil will start to lift, slowly at first, but eventually you'll remember almost everything Calliope did.
What happens to me?
That's gotta be a lot of memories. She was what, 1,000 years old?
More than that. Much more.
Then what happens to me in my piddly 20-something years? It can't be good.
Eventually, it's like a flood. It becomes difficult to separate what's you and what's them, and all who came before them.
Will I become Calliope?
You're saying I won't be me. I won't be Grace. Will I start calling myself Calliope?
Maybe. Eventually, most of us do, but most of us were chosen and prepared.
And I didn't choose this.
I understand. Take some time to let it sink in. If you like, we can talk about it later.
What does this have to do with the party?
Aphrodite hasn't been the same since we came to the New World. She has horrific memories of what she endured during the war. Passing on her Eidolon is a way to forget, for a while. That's what this party is for.
She's gonna die?
When you say she's gonna pass on her Eidolon, you mean...
She's going to die, yes, and pass her soul on to a chosen successor.
in front of everyone?
We're here to help, Grace. To make it easier for Aphrodite to do what she feels she must. We're here to say goodbye. At least for a while.
And she's done this before.
This isn't the first time Aphrodite's done this. She's held this kind of gathering before, right?
This is her fourth, I think, perhaps fifth.
So every time the veil, whatever you call it, when it starts to lift...
Aphrodite's memories return, and eventually it is too much. We gather to pay our respects and to honor the past. Well, she still remembers it.
Do you support this?
Do you support what Aphrodite is doing here?
It's not my choice to make, Grace.
Yeah, but you must have an opinion.
Eventually you will remember what we experienced during the war, and eventually you will remember that what Aphrodite experienced was far worse. If this is the mercy she requires, I will not tell her she should not take it.
Calliope didn't approve.
Wait. Calliope refused to come to these parties. That's what you said.
She refused on principle. Everything Calliope did was on principle. She believed Aphrodite was indulging her sadness, wallowing in it. She thought Aphrodite should try harder. It was a point of contention between them. Aphrodite will be grateful you're here. Trust me.
I get it.
Okay, so what did Aphrodite want Calliope to do? What does she want me to do?
Well, knowing Aphrodite, she'll want you to make a production of it all. She's not here just yet. Until she arrives, I suggest mingling.
Mingling.
Yeah, mingling. Talk to Eros. Or we can talk more if you like. Just try to relax, Grace.
Sure, yeah. Relax. That's what this party is for, right?
I'm gonna go talk to Eros. Betty!
Yes, the only person with a more revealing outfit than Apollo.
Accurate.
Grace,
Hey, Eros. Nice to...
Oh, hello.
Oh, okay.
Aphrodite will be so happy you're here. It means so much, you have no idea.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? You seem a bit...
Every time she does this, I don't know how to handle it. I almost want to run upstairs and demand she stop. Remind her that this never works. Sorry, I shouldn't unload on you. It's been a bad week.
This happens a lot?
From the sounds of it, this happens a lot.
Every 20 years or so. That's how long she can hold out until she just can't stand it anymore. Every time, Aphrodite forgets. At least for a while. But I don't. I remember everything. I'm there for the nightmares, the panic attacks, the days she doesn't even remember the war's over. And now I'm arranging her gathering again, so she can die again. And I'll watch it all again.
Is there no other way?
Is there no other way? Does Aphrodite really need to...
To die? I've asked that so many times. She's tried magic, drugs, psychotherapy, meditation, everything we could possibly think of. But for a while, she'll deny anything's wrong. It all seems fine, and I start to hope. Maybe this time will be different. Then the nightmares begin, and the memories return. More with each passing day until... I hate it, but I see her agony. I can't deny her this.
What happened to her?
Is it okay if I ask what happened? I don't mean to pry, but I'm new. I really don't know.
I know, but it happened to Aphrodite, not me. It's not my story to tell.
What if I could help?
If I know what she was dealing with, I might be able to help.
Could you? I suppose it wouldn't hurt. What happened is that Brother Ares happened. He missed out on the first world-spanning war, you see, so he was damned if he'd miss out on the next one. He found some jackbooted mortals, so full of themselves and their supremacy, and he told them about the idols. Then they came for us. Took us completely by surprise. Some they killed, but Aphrodite, her they captured.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Did she escape?
Aphrodite was captured, but she's here now. So she must have escaped.
She didn't. Do you know the name Hephaestus?
Wasn't he a smith of some kind? Giant hammer, lived in a mountain?
Some of that is mortal fancy, but yes. He was Aphrodite's husband, and he adored her beyond reason. When he found out the mortals were torturing her, he went mad. He was determined to save her.
Wait, they tortured her?
Nothing extreme, I'm told. They were too frightened, but they were also determined to wring every last secret out of her. So, who knows how long that fear would have lasted. Thus, Hephaestus made a deal.
With the, jackbooted guys.
No, with their enemies. That's what saved her.
Tell me about this deal.
Then this deal is how Aphrodite survived.
It's how we all survived. It's what brought us to the new world. Hephaestus saved us all. We never saw him again. That was the deal. He would leave, make their precious weapons, and never look back. Aphrodite never even got to say goodbye. It's funny, because Aphrodite didn't even like Hephaestus when they were married. She seemed to resent every minute they were together. But now he's all she can think about.
She needs my help.
What is my part in all of this? I'll help if I can.
Aphrodite loves drama. She always has. She wants us here to remember, to celebrate our history. She'll ask you to use your power as part of the celebration. Could you use it to inspire her?
I can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to, Eros.
That's not what I'm asking. I believe that deep down, she doesn't want to do this any longer. She must see it isn't working. She just needs the strength to try. Or I hope that's all she needs.
What are my bets?
I'll try, if you think it'll do some good.
I don't know if it will. I just find it hard to believe it could get any worse.
Famous last words.
Tell me about it. Do whatever you think is right, Grace. And thank you.
Yes, one thing I probably should have mentioned to you before, Aphrodite's party is responsible for about 3 out of the 5 trigger warnings this game has.
Ah,
As you might have noticed.
yeah.
The game gets heavy here.
I'll go talk to Apollo again.
Yeah.
Sad boy.
I know all these people, Grace. For as long as I can remember, I've known them. Yet sometimes I feel like I don't know any of them at all. Or they me.
You don't seem comfortable.
You don't enjoy these family gatherings, do you?
Are they family gatherings? Like the sort mortals have?
You call each other sister and brother and mother.
Well, yes, but...
And you've been together like 100 times longer than I lived with my family. All you're missing is a drunk uncle everyone has to apologize for.
That would be Pan. But yes, I feel very much out of place.
Why is that?
Why is that exactly? Wouldn't you feel more like you belonged after 1,000 years together?
Is your assumption that all those centuries bring great wisdom?
Don't they?
Older. We have more to forget. We hold grudges longer, but wiser. No. Not so far.
Eros wants this to stop.
I spoke to Eros. He's pretty broken up over all this.
Oh, poor Eros. Each new successor, his hopes rise up once more. And then he watches the new Aphrodite crumble. Piece by piece. Only to start all over again. It's so different from the olden days. Once he was the eternal disaster, and Aphrodite kept constant vigil over him.
Maybe he feels like he owes her.
I think he's followed her into a dark void, and somewhere, deep down, believes he deserves no better.
I should get back out there.
Okay, hold on. 2 seconds. My dog is staring at me like he needs to go outside. I'm gonna let him out real fast.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'll wait.
Okay, baby. No. Come on. What do you need? Come on, you two. Let's go. Here. Okay.
Okay, so I guess we're waiting for Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Before we get too far, do you want to know what my preferred playthrough through her song is?
Yes.
Mine is going full red throughout the whole song. In my opinion, that's the best soundtrack and the best effect of the song.
Okay.
You're still free to make your choices.
All right.
That's just my personal preference.
Understood.
Let's go.
My family. Having you all here, gathered once again to see me off, it moves me. More than I can say. My loves, my darlings, my dearest friends. And you. Oh, my dear sweet thing. I dare not hope that you, with all your troubles, might sing me to my sleep. Yet here you are. Yet here she is.
Nice to meet you. Again.
It's lovely to meet you, Aphrodite. Properly, this time.
Ah, yes. Poor Calliope. Such a loss to us all. I shall miss her dearly. To have come so far, only... No, it doesn't bear thinking about. It's too much.
Is this Grace, my lady? The new muse?
Oh, what manners I have. Grace, Grace, meet the lovely mortal woman who shall tonight become the new me.
Hi, my name's Venus. And yes, it really is Venus. Nice to meet you, Grace.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you.
We'll both be new at this, huh? Maybe we could get together and compare notes if you,
Survived my trial?
Yeah. Lady Aphrodite told me. I shouldn't have brought that up. I'm sorry.
There will be so much time for you lovelies to speak later. Now, we must prepare for my departure.
I really need your help first.
Are you sure we can't talk first? I really need your help, Aphrodite.
I know you do, my dear. I wish I could be there for you, but I'm afraid my time is up. But since you've shown such kindness in coming, I will ask Eros to make himself available to you afterwards.
Yes,
There's
let's
nothing
put
I
more
know
on
that
the
he does
guy.
not. He is my son, my truest friend, my longest love.
Won't he be a little distracted?
Eros has been through this before, Grace. He knows what must be done.
I was never a fan of Aphrodite. This game didn't change it that much.
I mean, I could say so many things about her.
I
Ugh,
could too, especially when we go into her marriage.
Tell me what my role is.
I have to admit, it's not clear what my part in all this is supposed to be.
How could it be? You've barely just arrived, darling girl. How did you even find out about it?
That would be my doing.
Apollo! Oh, you've come after all.
You look remarkably well, cousin.
I've had a great deal of time to prepare. I assure you that would not be the case. As for you, Grace, have you gathered the true purpose of tonight's gathering?
Do you remember?
If I had to guess, it's to remember. One last time before all your memories go away.
Each time the veil lifts, it leaves behind a little less. For me, old Olympus is long forgotten. The glory of Rome, a distant dream. I hope that one day the veil will lift and what happened during the war will also slip into oblivion.
But it hasn't.
Thus, for now we honor the memory of what was, lest tomorrow it be gone forever. Go, enjoy the gathering, Grace. Tell me when you're ready to begin.
Well, shit.
You can talk to Venus if you want.
Oh,
Or Apollo again.
Like, my soul hurts to talk to Venus because I'm like, I'm trying to talk her out of this. And that means talking you out of getting your godhood given to you and to, like, be Aphrodite. But at the same time, oh God, this is going to sound controversial. I don't want to talk to her. I would rather just begin the ritual and get this over with.
Okay, we can do that.
It just hurts my soul.
Yeah, that song will hurt. I can already tell you that.
I have tried so hard, fought for so long, but in the end, I must bid you all farewell once again. But before I go, I would like us all to remember the sacrifices that brought us here to this strange new world. This time, it is with the help of our lovely muse that we shall be guided. We let them rise. We let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong. Since the beginning we were hidden. We held court from up above. 'Twas the golden age of reason, and I the queen of love. But a plague of hate was spreading, and there were vultures standing by. Before we fell to our knees begging, we fell from the sky. We let them rise, we let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were
Focus on the betrayal.
Our so-called brother Ares sold his soul forevermore. He so loved the military, he became their dog of war. He denounced his loving family, and with mortal guns and greed, on a plate gladly delivered everything that war dogs need. He betrayed us and we let him, and with their mortal souls long gone, we thought we were untouchable. We were wrong. We were wrong.
Focus on the outrage.
I can feel we have the vigor of an idol coming in. Be wary as they find you to and tear your limb from them. Torture you and spit at you, parade you in a square. I thought my life was over, and a God answered my prayer. The man that I ignored saved me when I fell. Yes, the husband I abhorred
was a joke when it was said to me. He struck a deal with our enemy's enemy. Made a secret weapon so my captors let me go. He gave up his freedom, leaving just a memory. And this love I'll never know is what he gave to me.
I lost
I didn't even realize I was muted the whole time because my dog was barking. You need to stop this. This is pointless.
You're going my favorite path.
I gotta say that I'm amazed I held my tongue for so long. Not such a fan of this old plan, but who's to say that you're wrong? Now shoulda gotta erase a memory when there's no chance of changing history. This guy that sacrificed his life so you can live in his place. Wish he'd drop by, cause man, I'd die to see the look on his face. You try to hide from your reality, but then come back with regularity. And if you notice a disparity, then what's the meaning of his legacy? Everybody. Who gives a damn about your suffering? Everybody. Who wants to see you be yourself again? Everybody. Who feels your pain in case you're wondering? Everybody. You got the time, but it's the stuttering. Everybody wants to see you fall in love.
I can't place your face, so let me give you a hand. An idol should embrace the things they don't understand. And you don't get it. My mind's a falling city, buildings crumbling down. What is more, the pity? All I hear is the sound. Bombs blanketing the ground. A screaming so profound. And you want to play around. Will you offend? Everybody is insulted by your acrimony. Everybody wants to wallow in my testimony. Everybody. So who is ready for the ceremony? Everybody. I'll be siding with everybody. Everybody wants to see you fall in love.
I never thought you'd let it get this way. I stood by watching what we've built decay. We're just pretending that the ending is near. Mother, isn't it clear? Your family's here. Everybody, to see the agony you're going through. Everybody knows the goddess is inside of you. Everybody keeps repeating what they're meant to do. Everybody, I've got to stop it just to prove to you. Everybody wants to see you fall in love.
Urge her to let it go. Yeah.
Red?
Go the ritual. Yeah.
Everybody who's gonna help me overcome the war. Everybody who's gonna be there when I'm on the floor. Everybody who's gonna cry when I walk out the door. Everybody, cause I'm not gonna do this anymore. Everybody wants to see you, wants to see you fall in love again.
Yes, so this was my favorite version of this.
Oh,
Nothing
poor
is
Venus.
true. You've chosen to
Live. I have chosen to live. I'm so sorry, Venus. I made you so many promises, dearest, and I won't be able to keep them.
My lady, all I ever wanted was for you to be happy. If this is your wish, I'll be with you at every step.
I as well. Always.
I hope none of us regret this choice in the days to come. But thank you.
Oh, Venus, you're such a pure person.
Yes, one thing you didn't get because you didn't talk to Venus and then Apollo is that she always chooses people like Venus, the purest, kindest people,
Ugh.
in hopes it will make her better over time. So she, going by mythology, she basically usually chooses people who are total opposites of her.
Tracks.
Which is probably why it didn't work by now.
Yeah.
Also, my eyes might be a bit wet.
No,
but that always happens with this.
Trust me, if I wasn't so like burnt out in my brain right now, I'd probably be in the same boat.
Yeah, that one is heavy.
Oh, I really hope it isn't worse.
I really hope I didn't make things worse for you. If I did...
If you did, it's not your fault, Grace. I know how the Muse's power works. Somewhere within me, I wanted this. I knew it wasn't working.
At least now there's a chance it could get better.
Now then, Grace. You needed my help. No doubt regarding Calliope's death? Have you any suspicions as to who might be responsible?
I have theories.
For starters, it has to be one of the idols.
Oh? What makes you think that?
It had to be someone who knew Calliope and wanted her gone, with enough knowledge and power to fool the chorus. They didn't plan for Calliope to get away. I was an accident. They covered up everything else so well.
That's very clever.
I know.
You may be right.
You're thinking of Medusa, aren't you?
Oh, shit. Why do you suspect her?
Okay, I'll bite. Why would this Medusa be involved? And why isn't she a suspect?
Mother has always distrusted Medusa.
She works for Athena as a watcher. She's everywhere, lurking in the shadows. If you look anywhere, Grace, start with her.
Come now, Mother. It's time you rested. It's been a long night.
If I don't, I suppose you'll both gang up on me again. Very well.
So, did they have anything helpful?
Maybe? What do you know about Medusa?
I know she's dangerous, but she does Athena's bidding.
How sure are you of that?
I'm not sure of anything any longer. You aren't thinking of seeking her out, I hope.
Is there another way?
I have to. How else will I find out what she knows?
You need to be careful, Grace. Medusa is not to be toyed with. Athena employs her as a spy master, a hound to do her bidding, a vicious hound at that. Athena's not likely to tell either of us where to find Medusa. I can't say for certain who would know. Are you all right, Grace? You seem troubled.
Aphrodite went through so much.
What Aphrodite went through, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about the life of an immortal. It never ends.
Wow. Way to really sell it, Apollo.
I suppose you'll be headed home.
Or off to the reliquary, yeah.
Then I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself, Grace.
Don't worry, the darkest and heaviest part of the game is kind of behind us, because I don't think anything after this beats Aphrodite, so...
Good to know.
Reliquary?
Yeah.
I love Reliquary. You'll see why. Apart from the fact that you're taking Freddy.
When I opened
Oh,
this
surprise!
I was expecting, I don't know, rats.
Yeah.
Instead we have... Where the hell are we?
It's hard to say. Weren't we going to some kind of library?
So I was told.
That's how Pan described it. He said it was a, what's the word? A reliquary?
That is where relics are kept, like magic items, like when we played D&D.
This is nothing like D&D.
Well, I don't know about you, Grace, but if a dragon came flying out of that mist, I would not be the least bit surprised.
You are such a nerd.
Speaking of, how much do you actually know about Hecate and this idol you're supposed to help?
So Freddy is basically our walking, talking Greek mythology encyclopedia in the game.
Oh, great. Tell me about Hecate.
Do you know anything about this Hecate? It's not a name that rings bells.
Let's see. Well, she was the goddess of witchcraft, the really dark kind.
Oh.
But she's never really portrayed as evil. She was more of an outsider, lived alone, often in her little corner of the underworld. Do you think that's where we could be? Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I bet knowledge is important to her. It could be an angle if you talk to her.
Let's go
You're
with the
amazing.
visiting one.
I'm so glad I brought you, Freddy. I wouldn't know the first thing about any of this.
Nah. Well, I hope it's actually helpful to tell you these things.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because it could all be wrong. I would have never pegged Apollo for a surfer dude with confidence issues.
Huh. Yeah, good point.
About this idol we're helping.
The idol we're here to help is named Asterion.
And you know who that is, right?
No. Should I?
That's the Minotaur's real name. You know, big bullhead, horns, lives in a giant labyrinth.
Pan did not mention that.
Why am I not surprised?
Is the Minotaur dangerous?
This Minotaur. You don't think he might be dangerous, do you?
Well, traditionally he eats people, but he was also supposed to have been slain by the hero Theseus.
Well, not so slain after all. Pan says he has a problem with his love life.
Maybe he needs to stop eating all his girlfriends? Okay, I knew that sounded wrong the moment I said it.
We should go.
We should go inside instead of standing out here in the fog.
It's more of a mist, really.
A mist potentially full of monsters.
In we go, then. Are you really planning on doing that favor for Pan?
I'm interested in the relics.
Honestly, the reliquary is what I'm really interested in.
Ooh, a plan C. Go on.
There has to be some magical relic that could help me out. The trick will be finding it and getting my hands on it.
That will be a trick, yeah. I love your plans. I guess the Titan thing is literal, huh?
Mortals within the reliquary. Who permits this intrusion, this sacrilege? This knowledge is not meant for the likes of you. I shall grind you into the dust from whence you came.
I'm not immortal.
But I'm not mortal! Wow, does that sound weird coming out of my mouth?
But the one with you? Mortals cannot learn of the knowledge kept here. Not ever!
Freddy's special.
Freddy's not just any mortal. She's special. And she already knows about the idols.
We have been revealed. We are undone!
Oh my gods.
Not undone. I swear, I can go if you want. I will. I'm not going to tell a soul. It's enough that I even got to see this place. It is so amazing. It's like the Great Library of Alexandria, which, you know, was destroyed, and one of the greatest tragedies of human history.
I have created this sanctuary at great cost. Knowledge is fragile and must be respected.
Let's start over.
Maybe we should start over. My name's Grace. It's a pleasure to meet you. No, you cannot be Grace. Sure am. Then Calliope is dead. Is that now? I thought that was not for another 11 months yet.
You knew this was gonna happen?
Wait, what? You knew Calliope was going to die? No, I am not informed of this for another 11 months and 3 days. Or I could just tell you now? That cannot be. It is written. Yes, it's right here. Calliope joins Grace's band. They become friends. Months later, there is an automobile accident and... An accident? That's not what happened. Are you saying the books are wrong?
You have a problem.
Guess I'm not the only one with a problem. But this cannot be. The sooner you accept that someone, somehow, screwed up your magic books, the sooner we can get on to figuring out what happened.
Uh-oh.
You will explain. We will both sit, and you will explain. There will be tea.
I love her.
I love her too.
Curious. It is clear something unanticipated has occurred, something outside the realm of fate.
Is that even possible?
It is, but I must follow the threads back to their source to find the origin of the deviation. It may take years of research. Years? I don't have years. That is unfortunate. If there is nothing else, I must ask you both to leave so I may begin at once.
Can't you speed that up?
Is there no way to speed that up? Whoever's behind it might be the murderer. Such threads are not so easily untangled. I must consult the Moirai, if indeed they are not the ones responsible. The Moi what? You might know them as the Fates. They, or any beings of a sufficiently cosmic nature, have the power to undo the order of things.
That does not sound good.
Certainly not. They are also not beings I can summon at a whim to solve your mystery. I am sorry.
Can I meet Asterion?
Actually, I came here to speak to Asterion. If, he is here. A visitor for Asterion? How strange.
Oh, are we doing guests? Is that a thing? I didn't know.
Wow, okay. Freddy was right.
As if there was any doubt.
My old friend, this is Grace. She is our muse from the line of Calliope, and it is she who asked for you.
Pan sent me.
I'm here on behalf of Pan. He owes you a favor? Something to do with...
No, not Pan. Nah, never heard of him.
Asterion, of course you know Pan.
No idea what he'd want. No, sir, no favors. No.
There you have it, Grace. I believe now is the time when you leave. But there must be some mistake. There is no mistake. Not this time. Are you sure about that? Because I'm not going. It is written. Did you hear that? Pan sends me all this way and Asterion won't even talk to us?
Maybe there's another Asterion?
Yeah, more likely Pan's got me chasing my tail. This was pointless.
Well, I don't think we're getting back inside. Do you have another plan?
Time to use my powers.
I don't know if my powers will even work on Hecate, but it's worth a shot.
Ooh, a musical number. Do you think this one could be... do you hear what I'm hearing?
You still here? I had to run the entire... Oh, that's a long way, innit? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to send you away, all right? I just couldn't tell you, not in front of Kate.
Kate?
Kate? You don't mean... Oh, that is so cute.
I heard what you said about Calliope. I can help you. I really, really can. It has to be you. I am so in love with my dear, sweet Kate. I just don't know how to tell her. Please, help me tell her.
You're in love with her?
Let me get this straight. You're in love with Hecate. That Hecate.
Oh, mate, Kate is... She's just the best. Like, she knows everything, and she always smells so good.
Oh.
Like, she's so nice to me, and she doesn't even have to be. Oh, we got stuck in the tower together because we can't live in the mortal world. I know I could make her happy. Well, I want to try. Oh, won't you help me?
Why Kate?
Do you really call Hecate Kate? Off topic, I know, but I have to ask.
Well, sometimes she has to go into the mortal world for a short time and do things for Athena.
Uh-huh. And...
Well, she had to make up a magic disguise, a new identity. And I thought she should give it a proper name.
And you suggested Kate?
Yeah, she really liked it. She said, "Thank you, Asterion."
Let's assume that I help you.
You don't want to ask the
No.
other questions? Because
No.
you won't get the chance to ask them later.
Okay, why not talk to her?
Have you tried, I don't know, talking to her about how you feel? I take that as a no.
I don't have the words. I've tried. Every time I end up knocking over a table or killing a cat or talking about how sometimes meat has that grisly texture I don't like.
You killed her cat?
What?
Ooh.
It was a small cat. I panicked. I'm just not good at words. Right? Really not good.
Okay, let's assume that I help you. I'm not going to choose the last one because
I mean, he gives a really nice answer to that one. A fun one.
No. Let's assume that I help you.
Okay, so you're in love with Hecate. What is it you think I can do?
A muse knows about poetry and the heart and how to make words beautiful. All I want is to ask her, but I need good words. Please say you'll help me.
What if she turns you down?
Hecate might say no. You know that, right?
Well, she probably will. I mean, she's Kate. And I'm me. But just once, I'd like to be able to ask her, to say it out loud instead of thinking it. I'll still help you. No matter what she says. I promise.
Doesn't that seem weird?
I don't know. Doesn't this feel a little weird?
Which part?
Helping him woo her with my powers.
You heard what Pan said. You can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. You can only make them say what's in their heart.
Yeah, that's the part I can't do.
So what do I get in return?
I do this and you'll help me in return, right?
Athena made Kate swear she's not allowed to say anything about what happens at the tower. But she never made me swear.
Loopholes.
Maybe she never thought anyone would ask. But I'll tell you, even if Kate doesn't like it, I'll tell you.
If I do this first.
If you help me, any trouble will be worth it.
All right.
I can't say I'm exactly sure what to do.
Can't you just, start the music?
Yeah, but to do what?
Oh, leave that to me. I am so excited about this, I can't even stand it.
What exactly did you have in mind, Freddie?
Get ready for the most awkward song.
Go for it.
I'm not great at words. I'm more of a dancer.
Just speak from the heart. Be honest. You can do it.
You cast a spell on me. Not literally, obviously. But I feel in summary, you and me are meant to be. 'Cause you put a hex on me. You didn't do it to me directly.
Oh my god!
Blaming you specifically.
Try complimenting her. Just try complimenting her.
Can someone help me?
It's okay. Okay, what are some of the things you love about her?
Hecate, with you there's so much to love. Oh, I'm not saying you're fat.
What? No, oh my god.
In rapture? Oh, good word. Is your pallid skin. Your lips are so thin. Your love of books.
A stick. I have but one thought. Why is it that you seem so distraught? Are you saying you're in love with me? You couldn't possibly. Really? Oh, you're doing great. Give it another go.
You've cast a spell on me. It's a feeling that's killing me. But let's say categorically, oh, Katie, it's just you and me.
It's time for her to talk now. Just let her talk.
Because she's a bit less awkward with words, right?
God!
I cannot hide from my reality. I can't help but think it's best that you forget me. I feel so little joy. My want is to destroy. You will come to resent me. I'm truly fond of you. Yet now it appears that you love me. How can you be so sure? What is my allure? Tears are near certain.
I could never make you cry.
It's not my tears I fear. What if I lose you?
Couldn't. Oh, I feel so powerless.
Let me be crystal clear. Do you believe this love of yours shall persevere? Despite all it won't face, it won't disappear. My virtues are few, and if we see this through, the pain that we share may be too severe.
Oh, of course she sings my song better than I do.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Freddie wanted to help.
Yeah, let Freddie do it. Yeah.
Freddie, you gotta step in.
Me?
Yeah, you're just as qualified as I am. Hecate, I'd say he's really put himself out there. No, he cannot undo. It's a brave thing to do. Wish I had his daring. I'm saying that I've missed out before. Last chances rushed out that exit door. I could never let my heart be heard. And it's withering. Now I'm reconsidering.
And I will now give you a piece of advice, because if you want to get them together, don't go with the blue.
Yeah. They need to speak from the heart.
I have always counted on you to speak to me honestly. You're at my beck and call. I've never thanked you at all. And yet you still love me. I let travelers know which way to go, but it bothers me. My own path I forego always seemed apropos, yet where has this led me?
Maybe one step across the line will weave its own spell in given time.
The thought with which I must contend is, can I love my best friend?
Yes. Just decide.
You deserve a love story.
Asterion,
Kate?
it seems you've cast a spell on me.
You will not regret this.
Not yet. It is written. You've cast a spell on me.
I'm obsessed.
Think I shall have my own story. You cast a spell on me, and we shall write it together. You've cast a spell on me, a tale of romance and glory. You've cast a spell on me, but do we have enough leather? You've cast a spell on me.
Well, that was diverting. You felt this way the entire time, Asterion, and you said nothing?
I didn't think I was worthy. I mean, look at me. I'm only, half a man.
You have been a devoted friend over the long and lonely years, Asterion. I only wish I had realized sooner we could have been more. As for you, Grace, I thank you for arranging this diversion, however it came to pass.
I love how he's just doing the woo, like this little box. Wasn't it written?
I don't get it. Didn't you know this would happen? Wasn't it written? Of course it was. It was also written that I would be unaware of Asterion's feelings until he spoke them to me.
But you knew that.
I follow the rules. It is written.
I love the way Hecate works because technically she knows everything, but on the other hand, she doesn't know what she isn't supposed to know before the time she's supposed to know it.
True.
I love that.
Wild. You can help me in return.
You know, there is a way to repay me. I still need to find out who killed Calliope. I fear I am oath-sworn to discuss no matters that occur within these halls. But all I need is... If there are revelations from my investigation into the abnormality, you shall be informed. Come, Asterion, I wish to speak of this further, and find an appropriate outfit.
Hey, wait for me outside, yeah?
And so this was the possibly
How
most
long are we
awkward
supposed to wait?
song.
It's been over an hour.
I'm sure it's fine, Grace. I doubt the Minotaur would break his promise. Say, what'd I tell you?
Whew. You still here? I'm sorry. Kate had a lot to say.
We have a deal.
We're still here because you and I have an agreement.
Right, so, I suppose you want to know how Calliope broke into the reliquary that night.
She did what?
No, we didn't know anything about that. Do you mean the night she died?
Oh, well, I thought you already knew. Yeah, the night Calliope died, she broke in somehow. Thing is, we know she didn't take anything or even touch anything. I just remember the alarms, and I chased after her.
How do you know nothing was taken?
How do you know Calliope didn't touch or take anything?
Kate knows everything in the reliquary, right down to the last book. She's been looking, but she can't figure if anything was touched. It makes her so mad not to know. And it made Athena pretty mad too.
Athena got involved?
Yeah, when Kate finally told her, Athena wants Kate to keep investigating, but it doesn't look good.
Did you ever find Calliope?
You chased Calliope, but did you ever catch up with her?
No. If I'd have caught her, I'd have brought her back and Kate would have gotten answers out of her. All I know is that she was hurt, bleeding bad, but I don't know why. I wanted to help her, but she got away in the fog. Then I ran into Medusa.
Wait, what? Medusa? Here?
Yeah. Well, she's not normally here. I think maybe she was chasing after Calliope too.
So Athena knows what happened.
Athena knows what happened here the night Calliope died?
Yeah, Kate told her a day or so later, I think. We didn't know Calliope died that night, though.
What? Athena didn't mention it?
Nope. Not that that's weird. She's not the chatty type, you know? She came in all quiet and cool, wanted to know who was here that night and what Calliope might have wanted. She swore Kate to silence. Not me, though. Guess she's not as smart as Kate.
So how was she wounded?
How could Calliope have been wounded?
I don't know. Maybe Medusa did it. Probably not, though. You know, I never saw Medusa near the reliquary, just out in the fog, so she never even got that close.
So whatever happened to Calliope happened inside the reliquary?
I guess. But we don't have anything that would attack anyone, especially not an idol.
So someone else. But they did it inside the reliquary.
If so, they vanished after.
Why was Medusa here?
What was Medusa doing here?
She was chasing after Calliope too, I think, but she wouldn't say why. I asked.
Seems pretty convenient. Her just out there suddenly.
Yeah, that part's weird. I've never seen her near the reliquary before.
Couldn't Medusa have broken in like Calliope did?
Yeah, but I chased Calliope from the reliquary. If Medusa had been there, I would have seen her.
The reliquary has alarms?
Did you say the reliquary has alarms? Like burglar alarms, cameras?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It just has a lot of protections. You know, magic.
I don't know magic, actually.
Well, it's just meant to keep the dangerous stuff from being touched. It was set off, so something happened in the reliquary. We just don't know what exactly.
How did she get inside?
Those alarms don't go off if someone breaks into the reliquary? They don't detect intruders?
Well, normally nobody does that.
Calliope did. Someone else could have.
Yeah, but the alarms are just to protect all the books and relics. That's it. Whatever Calliope did here, it was enough to set off the alarms. That's all I know.
What kind of relics are there?
What relics are there? Maybe Calliope was looking for one, but couldn't find it before...
Yeah, that I'm not supposed to say.
Do you have the golden fleece, the shield of Zeus, the sword of Damocles? Is it suspended?
You know a lot about that stuff for a mortal.
So it's all real?
I can't confirm nor deny any of that. All I know is that nothing got used and nothing got taken.
I love Freddie so much.
I know.
I love her so
Calliope
much.
came here the night she died. This is where she was attacked.
But we don't know by whom.
Well, this is the second time Medusa's name has come up. That can't be a coincidence.
Well, she's super scary, but you know she works for Athena, right? I thought maybe that's why she was here, but Athena said she didn't know about it.
That does seem suspicious.
If that's all you need, then I have to go. Kate will be so mad if she finds me gone. Good luck, Muse.
You okay there, friendo?
I can't even choose my clever response.
Yep.
Why?
Okay.
No idea.
We learned a lot. I just wish I knew why Calliope was here in the first place.
Maybe that's a question for Medusa.
Sure, if only I knew where to find her.
One thing at a time, Grace. You'll figure it out. I know you will.
I guess so. Next thing is to go back to Pan. Tell him his favor is done.
What an adventure.
Sorry?
You're just lucky, Grace. Luckier than you think. You go do what you have to, and I'll meet you back at the apartment, okay?
Pan! I hope you're here, because I don't know where else to look for you.
Of course I'm here, Grace. Where else would I be but amongst the trees and the wild things?
Uh-huh.
I really must thank you, by the by. Asterion is simply over the moon, and he's already repaid me with this select tome from the reliquary.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You might have warned me what his love life issue was.
What was it? Asterion wouldn't say.
You really didn't know?
It was exhausting trying to get the poor fellow to admit as much as he did. At any rate, you seem to have worked it out. I trust you got what you needed. More grist for the mill of your innocence, as it were.
You knew I would.
You already knew I would, right?
Oh? Did I?
Come on, Pan. How stupid do you think I am? The place you sent me for this favor just happens to be where Calliope was attacked. You had to know I'd discover that. If you wanted me to know, why not just tell me? What's the angle? Tell me why I shouldn't be suspicious, Pan.
You have no reason to be suspicious. I know nothing of what happened to Calliope at the reliquary. I suppose the question at the heart of this is, do you believe me?
I'm trying to.
I'm trying to, Pan, but you make this really hard.
Ah, yes. Doubt. What a fascinating concept, and an excellent reason to hesitate. Alas, it is my burden to be forever condemned by my idle brethren. I've become accustomed to it. Truly. I've never lied to you, Grace, and I never shall. If you're looking for innocence, however, well, I'm afraid that's one thing I cannot provide.
And if I can't accept that? If I find out you're somehow involved in this?
You'll do what you do, and I'll do what I do, and we'll see where that takes us.
I still need your help.
If you're still up for trading favors, I could use more help.
Oh, of course you could. You could live the high life, Grace. Throw caution to the wind. Embrace what you can before you...
Before I die? You don't have any hope for me, do you? You're just taking what you can get before it's over.
You'll want to find Medusa, I suppose.
Yeah, her name keeps coming up.
You'll find Medusa at a dingy little club appropriately named the Viper's Nest.
Wow.
Give her my regards. But do be careful if you call on her, Grace. Medusa is a hideous monster and should be treated as such.
I mean, I can say definitely that the idols are very much not very original with the names for the things, for their places and things.
Oh my god, it's day 4 already?
Yep, I told you time goes by fast.
I want to go talk to Apollo and catch him up on where we're at, if that's beneficial.
It usually is. He might have a thing or two to say.
Hello again. I can't remember the last time I had guests so frequently. I did tell you we could discuss your memories and the Eidolon more in depth after the party. Did you have any questions, or?
How many times have you died?
How many times have you died? Can I ask that?
Well, we call it passing on, meeting the Eidolon, and it's fine. I've passed on 12 times that I can recall.
So your name isn't really Apollo?
Most recently, it was Lucas. Everyone Lucas ever knew is gone, however, so these days I prefer Apollo again.
Lucas? Seems weird to think of you as a Lucas.
It was weird for him, too. Much like yourself, Lucas becoming Apollo was somewhat of a surprise.
Sounds like there's a story there.
Tell me about Lucas.
Tell me about this Lucas. How did he become you? Or is it how you became Apollo?
Apollo had taken to surfing. He left the city without permission and roamed the coast looking for... Well, I'm not sure now. Whatever it was, he found it one night when a giant wave took him down. He was drowning, and I thought, this is finally it. But it wasn't. Lucas saw Apollo struggling and swam out to save him. He pulled us ashore, but it was too late. It took a long time to realize what happened. I didn't return to the city until years later. By then, everyone thought I was Apollo's chosen successor.
So no trial for you, huh?
It wasn't easy at first, without memories or anyone to guide me, but no, nothing like that.
What if Lucas hadn't been there?
Wait, what would have happened if Lucas hadn't tried to rescue you? What if no one was there when you...
When I died, then the Eidolon of Apollo's line would have ended forever, I think.
You think?
There have been stories about Eidolons that survive for a time and go wandering. That's probably all they are, though. Stories. It's not something we've had much opportunity to study, but normally death without passing on is how an idol really dies. Forever.
Will I feel different?
When all these memories start to return, will I feel different?
Well, let's see. It starts as dreams you'll have of places you've never been, people you've never met, fleeting images, feelings. Then they'll appear while you're awake. You'll be eating breakfast and suddenly recall when you last ate something similar in the 17th century. The only difficult part is that eventually it can be hard to differentiate between your life and all those other lives. They blend together.
It does sound confusing.
A little, yeah. And not all the memories will be good ones. It can take time to process.
Will I remember my own life?
You said it becomes hard to differentiate your life from the others. How hard, exactly? It'll still be me, right?
Grace, would you say that who you are is at least in part due to your experiences?
I guess so, sure.
Well, you'll have a lot more experiences. They won't feel like someone else's either. It will feel like you did all those things. They will shape who you are now, just as they shaped Calliope and all those who came before her. The good news is, you won't get all the memories. Each time we pass on, the older memories fade.
How is that a good thing?
Wait, how is it good that old memories start to fade?
We're many thousands of years old, Grace. If all of those memories returned with perfect clarity, you'd drown in them.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean you've all forgotten so much?
Tell me, how much do you remember from when you were a small child?
Bits and pieces, I guess. Not much.
It's the same for us. The further I try to think back, the more blurry it becomes. I remember the important bits, but little else. Some of the really old memories. There's so many mortal stories that get mixed up with them, things my previous selves learned as legends. It becomes hard to tell. It takes time, Grace. You'll remember all the lives you've led, but at a pace you can handle, and nothing more.
Okay.
It's a lot to consider. Assuming I'll even have time to worry about it, what with the trial coming.
Hopefully this eases whatever concerns you might have had. Anything else you'd like to discuss while you're here?
Yep, now we have a whole new set of questions.
I feel like I feel like I'm not gonna get new answers about most of these, but
You kind of will.
just tell me more about Calliope.
Tell me more about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
For centuries, we were far more. I was the god of the arts, and the muses were my constant companions. We went everywhere together. They had many names, but the three most common were Clio, Talia, and Calliope. The sisters of beauty, I called them, though they weren't always women.
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Most of us seek out inheritors who are like us, I suppose, but not all. Calliope, in fact, was a man in her previous incarnation. Christoph, I think his name was. A poet Calliope adored. I was surprised when she made him a muse.
Who was Calliope after Kristoff?
Who did Calliope become after that poet, Christoph?
You have to realize we're already into the period where Calliope and I weren't really speaking. She showed up one day in her new form, the one you met. An opera singer whose name she never revealed. We fought, as I recall. I told her she couldn't pass on every time she met an artist she fell in love with. Eventually, she'd forget everything about who we were and where we came from. She said she'd rather forget than wallow in old memories like I or the other idols were doing. It was time to wake up and make the best of our situation. Calliope was an idealist without compromise. Always. She hated what we'd become, what I'd become. She wasn't wrong.
You guys fought often?
From how you describe it, you and Calliope fought a lot.
As often as we saw each other, which became less and less as time wore on. However, she fought with everyone. Calliope hated the idols being kept secret. She and Athena would get into screaming matches over the rules, and it got so I could no longer protect her. She moved out of Olympus years ago and kept to herself. I just assumed she was wrapped up with some new artist when I got the news.
Do you regret not making up with her?
Every day I think about our last conversation and what I should have said or done differently. The problem with immortality is that you think you have all the time in the world.
Weren't there good things about
I
Calliope?
wasn't only fighting with Calliope, right? Surely there were good things too.
Is that how it sounds? No. She was marvelous. A force to be reckoned with if there ever was one. In the darkest days during the war, it was her songs that gave us hope. She kept Aphrodite alive through sheer determination, I think. Calliope cared. About us, about art, about people she'd only just met. It was her greatest strength as well as her greatest weakness.
I wonder why she picked me. I don't feel like I'm any of those things.
You underestimate yourself, Grace. I see a lot of her in you. She chose well.
What happened to the other muses?
What happened to the other muses? You mentioned 2 others. Were they lost in the war?
Cleo perished centuries before, the victim of an obsessed writer she'd spurned. He kept her in a cage as his personal muse.
Ugh, that's pretty dark.
It was. By the time we found her, she was already... Well, it's enough to say her captor didn't survive her for long. Talia, however, was lost to us on the very last day of the war. We were about to leave on the ship, but she just never showed up.
Do you know what happened to her?
We never found out. I worried for years, even hired people to look, but as far as I can tell, she up and vanished into smoke that day. The war had ground her down. I was upset, but not surprised.
Mm. Tell me more about the idols.
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
You are. What would you like to know?
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
The short answer is, we don't know. If I think far enough back, I can remember bits and pieces. I remember my first Pythian games, the day the idols split in two over Troy, the day my first son died. But before that, nothing. None of us do. I vaguely recall the very first Apollo many thousands of years ago, but was he the original? Did he appear out of the ether? I couldn't tell you.
So, how do you not know where you're from?
Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Interesting. The notion that there might be some other place far away where we're the norm is comforting. Sadly, our memories are filled with blanks. There was a war with beings we called the Titans. A terrible conflict where half our number died, yet do I remember a single battle. The last was after Rome fell. Zeus called us together to relay the news, told us to prepare for battle. And then, in the blink of an eye, I was in the 16th century. What made us forget 1,000 years? What happened during that time? We don't know. Athena calls that period the gap.
Tell me more about this gap.
The gap you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...
I know I was alive. I passed on my eidolon who knows how many times, yet the moment I woke up, as you call it, all memory of that period was gone. It was Athena who found us. I was in France, I think. She came to my farm, and the moment I laid eyes on her, I just knew. It all came back. Did someone do that to us? Did we scatter to the winds for 1,000 years on purpose? It's a mystery.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena claims she awoke on her own and spent the next century locating the other idols. We've pieced together very little of the gap or of our origins. We simply live with it. Gods we may be, but I'm afraid we don't have all the answers.
Which is the part I liked most about Greek mythology, because their deities don't claim to be all-knowing.
Mm-hmm. Did you say you have a son?
Earlier you mentioned your son dying. Did I hear that right? Can idols have children?
It was rare, but yes. Back in ancient times, some of them even became idols themselves.
Some of the idols are actually family, then.
Not anymore. Most of our children met terrible ends. A gift of the fates, perhaps. I don't know. The ones who weren't idols. It's hard watching your children grow old and die. never understanding why they can't have the same immortality you do, and why you can't grant it to them. My first son is why I'm not permitted in Hades any longer. Let's simply say that most idols have stopped having children, and maybe leave it at that.
Tell me more about the war.
Tell me more about the war. It seems to have had a huge effect on all of you.
I don't think we would have left the old world otherwise. It was home.
From Aphrodite's song, I know Ares betrayed everyone. What did you do?
I caused it. I foresaw what was going to happen, so I tried to prevent it. I told Ares. I figured if the god of war couldn't stop what was to come, then
And that's why he betrayed everyone.
he decided the idols were a lost cause. Because I told him we were.
Yay, Apollo, forgetting for a second how his own powers work.
That's terrible.
It is!
That's awful. Is that why you...
Stopped helping. Stopped interfering. I suppose so, yes. My time afterwards was spent helping the survivors, keeping us on the move. If Hephaestus hadn't intervened, we would have all been captured.
And he's...
Oh, gone now, we assume, like so many others. We are nothing more than refugees from a war long over, Grace.
That's all for now.
You are not curious about Apollo.
Nah.
That's all I can think of now. I'll see you around.
Of course. I look forward to it.
I would say let's go talk to Freddy and we will leave Medusa and whatever comes after her for tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, so let's talk to Freddy. And that will be the last part for today.
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse.
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having.
Well, I stopped the goddess of love from killing herself, I guess.
Whoa. Do gods have interventions? You know, they're nothing like I thought they would be. Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
How are Kaz and Brian? I haven't talked about those guys in a minute.
What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
No, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we tell them, do you think?
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Kaz is officially homeless.
Is he still crashing on Brian's couch?
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things?
Then where is Kaz?
Oh.
Yeah, it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, I'm up in this.
Sorry about the band.
I should really apologize about the band. This kind of puts a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this coming, sure, but it's always been something with me.
Well, as I see it, there are two ways this goes down. One, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name. Or two, we get back to it and the band now has the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Look, Grace, you can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
How do you know about, or what do you know about all these gods?
Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddie?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today or who they ever were, maybe.
Still might be useful. There's got to be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe. Who do you want to hear about?
Apollo.
What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun and light, but also kind of enlightenment in general. He's always talked about as this beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog, Grace. I can list off like a dozen men and women Apollo has had as lovers, and there's probably more.
Weren't they all like that, though?
I mean, Apollo's no Zeus. He never assaulted anyone as a swan. And no, they aren't all like that. Our sun god had a reputation.
Fucking Zeus. Ask about Persephone.
Yeah, thankfully Zeus is not here.
Thank every
Neither
other
is-
god but him.
Neither is Poseidon, and we already know what happened to Hades. And also, obviously, neither is Ares because, well, I don't think he survived the Second World War.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Tell me what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
And that's it? She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry, she created winter. But otherwise, Persephone was just your average sweet and virginal fertility goddess.
You're right, that doesn't sound like her at all.
Must be hard to be defined by this one thing that happened to you thousands of years ago. I'd be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Well, she is pretty pissed. That much is true.
Ask about Calliope.
Do you know anything about the Muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9, though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses had her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of epic poetry? She inspired the Odyssey.
Wow, I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right, at least.
Did she also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
No, but she once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
Ask about Athena.
What about Athena? Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
Sure, but mostly that's meant as tactical knowledge. Athena wasn't all sweetness and light. She was a warrior goddess. She was also the goddess of heroes. There are loads of stories where Athena helps guys like Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No female heroes back in those days?
Yeah, guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive. She cursed Medusa, one of her own priestesses. She turned people into spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's the whole thing.
Not being as wise as advertised is on brand for her, then.
Ask about Pan.
You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pan's a god of the wild, and I guess that translates into a sort of lustfulness and earthiness, humping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
And you don't like him.
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories say he's a lech and a beast. The Christians equated him with the devil. Weirdly, he's also the only god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. Anyhow, there's a great statue depicting Pan having sex with a goat. Next time you see him, you gotta ask him about it.
Enough about mythology.
I wonder how much of those stories are true.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm giving you the quick version. There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this, but even they rarely agree with each other.
Really? Nothing definitive?
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
How have the idols stayed a secret?
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years. Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Who says nobody has found them out? The way I see it, it's like UFOs.
Okay, I have to hear this.
Okay, so you have real evidence that UFOs exist and that governments have covered it up and people still wouldn't believe it. Why? Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it. Imagine the headline, Greek gods exist and are living among us. What website would even run that?
Weird conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. No more
Okay,
questions.
that's enough questions for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
I'll check back with you soon, Freddy. Time for more mystery solving.
Okay, and with that, I think we will finish for today and reconvene tomorrow. We're on day 4. We have Medusa to go to. This will be fun.
It's exciting.
Yep, absolutely is. Let me remove it from the stream. And yeah, with that, we will finish for today and we will reconvene tomorrow. It will be at a different time than today because it will be during my day and not my night.
And it will be during my early morning.
So it's technically gonna be in about 8 hours.
I might just stay awake. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. See you tomorrow and we'll see where we get tomorrow. Bye bye.